Okay, we're going to go ahead and get this Fire Safe Council meeting started. Philip Simi was not available to attend the meeting today, so I'm going to go ahead and run the meeting. We'll do a round of introductions, and I'll go ahead and start. My name is Kelly Sheen. I'm the district manager of the Trinity County Resource Conservation District, and we'll go around the room, and then I'll call people off on Zoom. So I'll pass to my left.
All right, hello, this is Skylar Fisher, Trinity County Fire Safe Council Coordinator with TCRCD.
Hi, this is Miles Raymond, Education Coordinator with the Trinity County RCD.
Amelia Flights, I'm a member of the public.
Chris Prindeville, Weaverville Fire Department, coordinating the hazardous fuel reduction through this summer.
Go ahead, Matt, Post Mountain.
Jerry Carpenter, Post Mountain.
All right, wonderful. I'll go ahead and call people. You go ahead and introduce yourselves. Tiffany.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Sorry. I was trying to start my video, but that's not working for some reason. Anyway, I'm the acting district conservationist for Natural Resource Conservation Service, NRCS. Thank you.
Thanks, Tiffany. Next, I have a DOI. I assume that's Mike Allen, possibly on the phone.
Yes, Mike Allen, Reading BLM. Yep, I'm here.
Awesome. Thanks for being here, Mike.
No problem.
Adriana.
See if that's working, not sure, but Adriana Rodriguez, TCRCD Forest Health Project Coordinator.
Great. Thanks, Tiffany. Jerry.
Hi, everybody. Jerry Cousins. I'm with the Trinity County Collaborative.
Great. Thanks for being here, Jerry. Do you have a time constraint today?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, awesome.
Let's keep it short, eh?
I'll do my best.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Jerry. Larry.
Larry Glass, Safe, and the Trinity Collaborative.
Awesome. Thanks, Larry. Dina.
Dina Magdaleno with Sonongway Council.
Thanks for being here, Dina. What's that?
Timber.
Timber.
Trinity Journal.
Timber with the Trinity Journal. Okay, we'll go ahead and move along. Ellen.
Hey, Ellen McGehee with the Watershed Center Fire Management Program.
Thanks for being here, Ellen. David.
Good afternoon, David Colbeck, Trinity County Natural Resource Division.
All right, thanks, David. Let's see, Melissa.
Hi, everyone. Melissa Conway. I am with the South Fork Management Unit. I am the fuels planner there. National Shasta Trinity National Forest.
Awesome. Thanks, Melissa. Daniel.
Hi, everybody. I'm Daniel Montgomery. I'm a forest prevention technician with the Weaverville Ranger District.
Awesome. Thanks, Daniel. Keith.
Yeah, Keith Forrest with the Shasta Trinity National Forest on the Hayfork Ranger District, South Fork Management Unit, that is, and I work with Melissa as well.
Okay, great. Thanks, Keith. Somebody that shows up as G. Tingley.
It's Glenn Tingley, and I'm out here in Texas on a fire assignment covering for Trinity River Management Unit, and I'm the division chief there.
Say hello to my cousin.
Very good. Thanks for being here. And Christian.
Hi, everyone. Christian Jordan, Forestry Advisor with UC Cooperative Extension for Shasta, Siskiyou, and Trinity counties.
Excellent. Thanks for being here, Christian. I think I got everybody. Did I miss anyone? Okay, not hearing any others. I will go ahead and jump into our agenda today. Do we have any additions or changes to the agenda or early departures? That anybody needs to adhere to?
I would like to leave by 2:30.
Reasonable.
Yes. Okay, hearing no additions or changes to the agenda, we'll move into discussions. Trinity County Vegetation Management Ordinance. Who is doing this one?
Let's see. David, do we have any updates?
No, I would say that I'd have no new updates for the group.
Okay.
So I want to ask, is this going to be a recurring discussion item? I'm okay if it is, but I didn't come prepared with anything specific here. What's your intent?
I think at the last meeting, it was asked to bring it back if there were any updates on the county's end. So I think at this point, I mean, we could move it to like an previous or older discussion item area. And then if there's anything to speak to, we can speak to it. And then if anybody has any other questions or comments, we can do that. But otherwise, I think we could just keep rolling.
And I'm happy to answer or give updates as they occur or answer specific questions as it's being worked out. I think it's of interest to RCD and perhaps some fire departments for how it will be implemented. But at this point, I'd like to keep it kind of problem-based or case studies or, troubleshooting, I suppose.
Should we have it as part of your report out then, if there's any new developments?
Sorry, say that again.
If there's any new developments, could we just have it as part of your standard report out partner report?
That's fair. Yes, that's reasonable. And if there's a supervisor on the, I don't believe today we don't have any county supervisor, but keep it as a report out. Yes, please.
Okay, sounds good, David. Thank you.
I would encourage that as the general plan and the zoning gets updated, that connection to the vegetation management ordinance is made clear in both of those documents. And I would encourage that the Fire Safe Council coordinator take that responsibility.
Could you say that again?
That the vegetation management ordinance is referenced in both the general plan and the zoning update, and that there is intent somewhat referenced from the Fire Safe Council that vegetation management ordinance is utilized.
It is in this current safety element. I'm pretty sure from my conversations with the person who wrote it.
It's the top two sheets of the packet.
Yep. So to that point quickly, yes, with the tax, I'm helping to review some of the current administrative drafts for different elements. And so I will keep an eye to that, but also for this group to comment when those elements are released to the public.
Thank you, David.
Great. Thank you. We had a new attendee join us. Would you like to introduce yourself, Pat?
Pat Frost, new attendee.
Very good. Thanks for being here.
I haven't been a new attendee for a long time.
Maybe in person.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see, moving on. Supporting proclamation to Trinity County Board of Supervisors to award Larry Winter with the first Fire Safe Trinity Award. And I believe that's in the packet for everyone's review. If we want to bring it up.
So I can share on the screen the draft letter and then the draft proclamation. Let me figure out what tab I have in. And then I'm happy to introduce the item and then turn it over to Amelia, or would you rather just start running with it from the beginning?
We can just go.
Okay,
That works.
please go ahead.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Amelia Flight's former Fire Safe Council coordinator. Here today as a member of the public. I reached out to Skylar pretty soon after Larry Winter had passed away. And there had already been discussions before I had left the Trinity County Resource Conservation District about awards and recognitions. So when I was Fire Safe Council Coordinator, Larry was a key person and reference for me. He has done so much for the community of High Palm, developing the High Palm Fire Safe Council. He was previously chief at the High Palm Volunteer Fire Department, but generally communicating the values of forest management and defensible space, and really did a lot within the community of High Palm, which even expanded out into the realm of Trinity County as a whole through the local area advisors program, which he was a founding member of, as well as just an amazing wealth of knowledge. So I requested that we look at honoring Larry and all the work that he did for the High Palm Fire Safe Council, as well as the Trinity County Fire Safe Council, as a Fire Safe award. So working with Skylar, and she can elaborate more to this, it's not intended that this is a one-off award, but this is a start to multiple awards so that we can recognize many of the individuals who have contributed to the founding of the Fire Safe Council, as well as initiating fire safe efforts within their own communities. And so I asked for the formation of this award and drafted with Skylar the proclamation letter that has been reviewed by the family, and the family is in support of this moving forward, so that we're not isolate or working in a bubble here. And so I just ask for the Fire Safe Council support so that we can move forward. Skylar and I have been discussing plaques and how to recognize it, discussing a plaque for the family, a plaque to be hosted at the RCD to track annual awards, and potentially an additional one to put within the High Palm Community Center as well, in reference to Larry's great commitment. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Skylar?
Just that I think that it would be awesome to establish an annual award, just because so many of the efforts that make the Fire Safe Council possible are either volunteers, or it takes volunteer hours and a lot of commitment and hard work. So I think it's very important that we acknowledge all that hard work and appreciate the people that put it in.
I had also made a offer to Skylar to contribute towards the production of the plaques as well.
Thank you.
So is there funding for that kind of thing, or do we need to raise money for the plaques?
I do have some funding available to pay for plaques.
Okay, is there any discussions or concerns with moving forward with making this recommendation to the Board of Supervisors?
Have we chatted with at least one supervisor, right?
Yes.
And I do want to note, I don't think that this would go before the board until the July meeting, so it won't happen immediately, just on scheduling with the family, but yep, this would go this year, this summer.
Okay, hearing no comments to the contrary, I guess we will go ahead and move forward with this.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you both for putting this together and making this happen. Yeah, on the other end, and Skylar. Fantastic. Okay, we have a couple of late additions to the agenda that went out earlier this week. One is a wildfire camera update. Is that something that I could ask Jerry to possibly give us a report on, as being sort of the lead for the collaborative on that topic?
I could do that for a little bit. I'm afraid to say that a conversation I thought between Velocity and Digital Path that was supposed to have happened has not happened. They're leaving messages to each other, and I'm not sure why they haven't talked. So that's for the 2 cameras downriver. And the other thing I noted at the collaborative meeting, Tara said that the cameras that they're doing the NEPA on, it should be signed off in early June. I think that's all I know about any updates.
Great. And Jerry, in that conversation, I can't recall, did we have and maybe in past conversations, did Digital Path ever make a comment to the effect of like how long it was going to take before they actually started doing installations after the signing off on that environmental compliance document?
I've not heard that, but I believe once it's signed off on, I think it'll be up to Forest Service to move forward with Digital Path. And I'm not aware of any hindrances from Digital Path as far as the implementation once all the papers are signed and cameras are purchased and shuffled around.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Oregon camera's been down for 10 days
Oh, has it?
or more.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I don't know who to report that to or something I
Okay.
noticed.
I can actually probably report that out to Mike Wilson and Kevin Anderson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can handle that report. No problem.
That's you, Kelly? You'll do it?
I'll go ahead and do that, Jerry.
Great.
Yep. No problem there. Anything else on wildfire cameras? Okay, hearing none. Moving forward. Consider drafting a comment letter on the notice of preparation for the Great Redwood Trail Program Environmental Impact Report, or EIR. Who's leading this one?
So I can speak to this one. I was forwarded the notice of preparation from county planning. And they were just wondering if the Fire Safe Council would be interested in reviewing and commenting on it. So I wanted to put it on the agenda. So basically what the environmental document would be for is for the northern portion of the Great Redwood Trail. That trail is currently proposed to start around Heldsburg and then go up north to Arcata. And so a portion of it cuts through the southwestern portion of Trinity County near Alder Point. So the reason why planning brought it up was for potential emergency access or wildfire hazard concerns. So I wanted to bring it to the group, see if we were interested in commenting on it, or just generally what everybody's thoughts were.
Is that section of the old railroads?
Yeah.
Through there,
I
throughout the
believe it's
mountain?
around there.
Yeah, it's the old,
Yeah.
they can do something with it. They're just sitting there rotting now.
Yeah, there was a good trail and they actually ride on the rails a little bit with the Olsen cart.
Well, this is gonna be a hiking and
Yeah.
I don't know if they allow bicycles on this trail or is it just?
It says that they will.
I
I would suggest that if the Fire Safe Council wants to make a letter, that it should only address fire safe concerns, fuel breaks, those kinds of things. The Fire Safe Council is not necessarily doing the emergency response, and we should let unless a specific volunteer fire department wants to make a comment because they're going to be responding in that area. I think we should stay out of that realm and focus on what the bread and butter of the Fire Safe Council is.
David Colbeck is raising his thumb in agreement with that.
Oh, I was actually trying to find a way to raise my hand. Couldn't find it. A thumb works though, just one finger, I suppose, right?
All right, David, go ahead.
Yeah, so thank you. So the Planning Department, Natural Resource, County Sheriff's Office, Environmental Health, and CAO Office are currently drafting a letter here. But just for this group's consideration, I wanted to highlight that, you know, this is the notice of preparation process or period for CEQA. So if you were to make a comment, it's to limit your expectations and just that you're asking them to analyze under CEQA something specific to make sure that they address it. They'll go through their analysis, and then when they issue the draft EIS, then it's a chance to see whether they analyzed it correctly, and then you can comment again. So I just wanted to highlight that as, you know, this is a chance to throw something out there to make sure that they look at it.
I would suggest analyzing for fuels management along the trail and potential for any escape wildfires to be started from campfires, stoves, any of those portable items that such mobile individuals may be using along this corridor.
I guess I have a little more restrict, I see it as a slippery slope.
Mhm.
You know, to begin, having the fire safe council, comment on recreational trail kind of projects, out of recreational trail projects and NEPAs and CEQAs and they all have remotely ancillary impacts to what we do. I just think it's outside of our purview, which in my opinion, I hate to see us get kind of, every time a trail project happens in the community forest, or up into the Alps, that we're commenting on the remote possibility of that being a fire start and how to manage it.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
I tend to agree with you with regard to that. Larry, you have your hand up?
I do. I agree with Pat, but this is not a trail like what he's describing. This is basically going to be a roadway that vehicles other than emergency vehicles are not allowed to travel on, but it's basically going to be a roadway. And I think this document needs to analyze how they're going to mitigate for the potential fire starts that could happen along this trail, like a previous speaker brought up. And then making sure that emergency vehicles are going to be able to access all points along the trail. Because I knew they're going to have dullards installed along the trail to keep vehicles from going on them. But at some point there needs to be the volunteer fire department, say in Kettenpalm, I'm assuming, would have jurisdiction down there. They're going to have to be able to get those dullards out of the way so they can get fire vehicles in there. So I just think those are things that the document should look at.
We don't have a drafted letter. We're just taking ideas at this point for concerns that we might have as collectively as a group.
Right. When does the letter have to be submitted by?
I believe it's due on the 31st, so we wouldn't have, if we wanted to draft a letter, I could just take in the comments from today and then send it in, or we could do something similar to when we have like a letter of support between meetings and I can send it to the group next week. We could have like a few days for any additional comments on it for revisions.
Yep.
I'm okay with that.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
David, do you have your hand up again?
I do, yes, thank you. I just want to say I appreciate Larry's comments because in CEQA, it's going to analyze public services and wildfire under two different sections of the EIR. And under public services, it's typically one where a public service like a fire department or law enforcement would need to construct a new facility, some new groundbreaking activity that's in association with the project that the project would require. And so the idea of installing bollards or hammerheads or other project elements as a suggestion is a good one, I think. And that one that would require further ground disturbance, which again should be analyzed. So I just wanted to echo that's appropriate for this level of CEQA and should be included.
That allows for habitats.
Okay, great. Thanks, David. Dina, you have your hand up?
Yes, I was just at the Trinity County Housing meeting this morning, and the consultants they hired recommended that Trinity County, if you were talking about something that is bigger and broader than Trinity County, and the example they used is say that the state of California has some requirement or regulations that Trinity County not weigh in a way that puts responsibility for what is occurring upon them. And I think that this is one of those conversations that kind of approaches that point. And so maybe some kind of a disclaimer that although it's not in the authority of the Trinity County Fire Safe Council, we have these recommendations.
That sounds good, Dina. Great suggestion. So Skylar, you think you can synthesize a letter and get it out to the group, just see if there's any other comments, and then we'd be able to submit it before the 31st of this month?
Yes, it'll be a short comment review window, but I can aim to get something out by Tuesday.
Fantastic. Okay. That sounds
Would it be
good.
worth David sharing what the county's putting together with you?
Yes, that would be helpful.
Is that possible, David?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Able to share out what the county's putting together as far as their comment letter, just for sort of like a little bit of verbiage or an idea of what that letter will cover?
Yes, it's very much in draft form at the moment, but I don't want to speak for the other divisions, like Bella, for example, who was the one who first brought this up. So if you were to make the request as you're drafting the letter, I can try to get you an answer.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thanks, David. Jerry, you have your hand up.
Yeah, it feels to me that it's a bit premature for us to wade in, and I just want to get a sense, could someone review what we're suggesting we publish from the Fire Safe Council at this point? What are we writing?
So far, I've tracked the need for fuels management around the trails. So recommendations on fire mitigation measures, but it seems like we don't want to make recommendations on emergency responders or emergency access, as that's a little bit outside of the scope. But primarily on that fuels reduction and general fire mitigation recommendations.
Okay, thank you. Again, I tend to agree with Pat. It seems not something we should be involved with right now.
Well, this is really, I guess, my understanding of it is just that the intent of this particular letter would be to be suggesting that they look at these things when they do the actual, and when they, to analyze for those things, so that it's included in the EIR document.
Right.
These aren't like directly comments because the document isn't really taken a draft form yet.
So a letter of support for the project, but these are the things we would like for you to consider and look at?
It would just be a comment letter on the notice of preparation for things to consider when they're preparing the environmental document.
And at the very bottom of page 4 of the NOP, the last thing in their little bulleted list is wildfire. So you're kind of targeting, zeroing in on that.
Great. Yep. Okay, does that sound good to everybody? You good with that? Is there anything against there we should address? If not, we'll go ahead and have Skylar draft something and then get it out to the group not later than Tuesday.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you for taking that on, Skylar. Okay, with that, we've got through our discussions item, grants. Anybody got any grants to report that they're going after? This is more like going after, right?
Not what we got.
Not what we got.
Yeah, right. Usually it's if there's like a letter of support request or that sort of thing, some grants.
Okay. Does anybody have any upcoming grants that they'll be applying for that they want to report out? Okay, hearing none. We'll go straight into the Fire Safe Council Coordinator update. Take it away, Skylar.
Okay. Feel very inspired by Amelia saying that we'll be done by 2:30, so I'll be quick. Feel like I always open my reports by saying it was a busy month, but it truly was a busy month. So we had the Firewise Fair in Hayfork. The event was held on May 11th. There are multiple organizations tabling. We ended up only having one vendor. But he shared with us that it was successful for him, which is great. Live music, 2 speakers, including Melissa and Ellen, who are on call today, so thank you. They were really great presentations. The goat petting zoo was a hit with the kids, and the Hayfork VFD shared with us that they gave out over 300 free tacos at the event. Let's see, other than that, the Hayfork VFD fundraised just under $700. So we're excited that this was a good fundraising opportunity for them. And we tracked 162 people at the event. So when we initially were talking to the Hayfork Park and they asked us like, how many people do you expect are going to come? And we said, well, we want there to be at least 100 people. They were like, okay, we expect there'll probably be around 50 people and that will be a success. So the fact that we got over 150 we're very happy about that. The draft Trinity County Hazard Mitigation Plan and draft Trinity County Evacuation Plan are finally released into the wilds for public review from May 1st to July 1st. So that's on our website at firesafetrinity.org, but is also at 12 different locations around the county, from the Trinity Center Library to the Xenia School. So if you have any questions about locations in your community, please reach out and I can let you know. The community meetings have started out strong. So we scheduled out 11 community meetings. Those are our fire safe meetings to discuss those ongoing planning efforts. So the hazard plan, the evac plan, evac routes, and then also the 2025 community wildfire protection plan update. So we've had 5 of those meetings so far. I did the numbers quickly before this meeting. So we had 8 people in Burnt Ranch, 7 in Lewiston, 19 in Hyam Palm. Trinity Center had 24 and Mad River had 22. So only 6 more meetings to go, which is very exciting. And then we also had Forest Service attendance at every meeting or attempt. So there was one meeting Lewiston where there was a miscommunication on the address, but it was not for lack of trying. There wasn't someone there. So major takeaways so far, fire insurance has come up at every meeting. We've been pretty excited because there hasn't been any concern about the methodology we've been using to develop the evac routes. Like people have really been running with it and like have agreed with sort of how we've built those out and have just really have been helping us refine our routes, better understand existing conditions of any identified routes that might have evacuation concerns. So that's been going exactly as we've been wanting it to, which is awesome. And then great input on identifying priority projects in the community. Let's see. So thank you to Denise, our GIS manager, and also Eric for cranking out so many maps, since the map drawing exercise is such a large piece. They've been very patient with me being like, okay, we have a meeting on Monday and then on Tuesday, and I'm going to be at an event on Saturday. So I need so many maps for all of these different communities. But coming up, we're going to have the Douglas City meeting on May 28th. June 4th is Coffee Creek. June 8th is Hawkins Bar. Weaverville's June 11th. And then we're going to wrap up in Junction City on May 25th. We've had 2 neighborhood ambassador events since our last meeting. Miles has been leading those. We had one in Trinity Village, which was the Scotch Broom Pole. And then last week we had one in Coffee Creek, which is the pre-chipping work event. And then we're going to have another event in partnership with the Weaverville VFD next Saturday, June 1st in Rush Creek. So that's pretty exciting. And then winners were selected from the art contest, the Fire Safe Art Contest. It had 10 submissions, 8 youth submissions and 2 adult submissions. And so we'll hopefully be notifying the winners by the end of the month. And so there's going to be a cash prize. We'll convert the winning art into magnets. And then all the art submissions will be included in the CWPP to celebrate like these planning efforts and works in wildfire resiliency and the intersection with art. So we're excited about that. And those are my updates. I can answer any questions.
Any questions for Skylar?
Was there any meetings at Post Mountain?
Yes, I didn't write it down, but there is a meeting.
18th.
Thank you.
Gary, got it out.
Can you read that? I can't read it.
Oh,
Looks like it says the
it
18th.
is the 18th, yes. Okay. Sorry, I forgot to mention your meeting. Thank you for bringing it up. Yeah, we're gonna be in Post Mountain.
I need a louder shirt.
Okay, very good. Anything else for Skylar? Okay, hearing none. Thank you very much, Skylar. There's a lot going on this past month. Okay, before we hop into the project updates, I do see that we have a new attendee. Sophia, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hello, everybody. Sophia Sadie here from Downriver. I'm with the Willow Creek Fire Safe Council. Thanks.
Excellent. Thanks for joining us, Sophia. Okay, this month we get the reverse order, so we're going to start with on the project updates. We'll be starting with Watershed Research and Training Center. Did I?
Ellen.
Yeah, Ellen.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
There's a little breaking up a little bit, but we caught the last bit.
Okay, I'll give it a shot. Apologies, I'm on the road today. But so we're kind of gearing up for star thistle burning with the fire management program. We have several units that we did last June. And these burns target a particular stage of star thistle morphology. So we want the plant to be bolting and not going to put energy into resprouting again, but not having set viable seed yet. So repeat burns for at least 3 years in a row are really important towards making sure that's a net gain with the process. And this will be year 2 on a bunch of our units. So we're sort of watching the curing of the grass and the star thistle morphology very closely, and also keeping tabs on CAL FIRE's declared fire season and when the burn ban might get moved up or not. Yeah, that's most of a lot of other stuff is just kind of in planning. We have several big grants that are going to be doing large area CEQA, and that's kind of all in process, but not a lot of info.
Okay, thanks, Ellen. Any questions for Ellen?
Has there been a location confirmed for Trinity Center's PBA workshop?
No, if anybody has suggestions, I mean, I believe we can always do it at the fire hall, but it's can be really useful if there's a landowner that's interested and has a potential unit that we can then walk and talk about at the end of the meeting. So we've been kind of waiting for that to potentially show up, but we'll be announcing the final location soon. So if you have any input, happy to hear it.
You just need some outreach from Watershed Center to Trinity Center. I don't think we've heard anybody asking us for anything. I know we're analog. We're not.
Oh, we do have a physical mailer in process, and I've been in contact with Carol Fall about how to best get the word out, and she's offered to post some things in various places. So that should be all in process if you haven't seen anything yet.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Ellen. Appreciate it. Anything else for Ellen? Okay, moving on. Willow Creek Fire Safe Council, Sophia.
Thank you. Yeah, just a quick update from Downriver. We had our Firewise Day there on Saturday. That was very fun and well attended. Included a softball tournament, and puppies, and a bouncy house. So that went pretty well, and people enjoyed it, and we got some great information out from our partners, and so accomplished some good outreach with the parents as well. Other than that, just plugging away on grant projects down here. I guess our biggest change would be that in partnership with the Trinity County Resource Conservation District, we did get awarded some funding to help implement a fuels reduction project in Salyer that we're going to be getting started with this summer. So that's very exciting. That's just a little brief update from here, and any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Yep, we're pretty excited about that opportunity to work with you, Sophia. So we're looking forward to seeing how that moves forward. Pat has a question.
Sophia, this is Pat Frost. So any progress on working with the Forest Service on the County Road 435 roadside project?
I did report back to Randy and Chester that they had kind of gone out to bid a masticator to do that 7 miles of 435. And I did bring that option back to the Fire Safe Council, and the directors agreed that, you know, if that's what we got to do to get it done, we think it would be very effective. Chester was saying they'd be able to bump the big logs kind of off the side of the road with the tool, as well as mow and brush a lot of that debris. So it did sound like an effective use of funding to kind of get a good bang for our buck in terms of the mileage of getting the whole stretch treated. So we came back to Randy and Chester okaying that method, and I'm not sure where it went from there.
Have you been in contact with Monique at the Forest Service? Because I think it still needs to get final approval from the RAC because they didn't vote on it at the last meeting.
You know, you're right. And I think Randy has been the most in contact with Monique on that. And I will follow up with both of them about that. Thanks for the reminder.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Let's see. We'll go ahead and move on if there are no other comments or questions for Sophia. Weaverville Volunteer Fire Department.
Hello, for those that don't know me, my name is Chris. I'm coordinating the hazardous fuels crew for Weaverville Fire this summer. Kind of waiting a little bit for our crew to come on. We're waiting for the high school to graduate because most of our crew is from the high school or recently graduated. I'm currently running through assessments on at least 20 properties around the area. We're working mostly on defensible space, 100 feet from the building. And if anybody has any folks out there that need some work, have them contact the Weaverville Fire Department and we'll get them on the list. We're targeting elderly, disabled, and economically disadvantaged folks. But you know, have somebody give us a call. We'll work with them.
Anywhere within the fire protection district?
Lewiston, Douglas City, Weaverville, and Junction City.
Okay, fantastic. Great. Very good. Anything for it was Chris, right? Mm-hmm. Anything for Chris? Questions, comments? All right, hearing none. Thank you very much, Chris. Appreciate that report out. Just out of curiosity, who's providing funding for you guys to do this?
Title III.
Title III this year. Very good. Awesome. Thank you very much. All right, moving on to U.S. Forest Service. Do we have anybody from Six Rivers on? I know that usually it was Nancy, but I know that she's retired now. Okay, hearing none. Let's see. Shasta Trinity National Forest. Who wants to start? I think we have quite a few people.
Yeah, I'll do it. This is Keith again. You hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so just some updates. We are not burning anymore until fall. And so, but we do have some projects coming up. It's a Forest Service project. It sounds like it's coming up sooner than not. It's just waiting for some signatures. It sounds like it's a lot of acres. I forget how many. if Zane's there, he knows better. But it's like 1,300 acres or something around the community. And then also we got another agreement coming in soon. And we'll be starting here probably maybe another month or two. It's along the 24 road, for those who know where that is. And it's going to be with the Hoopa tribe. So that'll be coming up, and that's like 300 acres. So we're going to have some work going on out there sooner than not. Other than that, I don't have any real big updates. That's pretty much it for me.
Okay, that was a little bit hard to hear. A lot of that, Keith's, it just seems to be a technical difficulty as far as.
It is. It's probably because it's Zoom. We use a different system. How's this? I'm a little closer to my microphone.
That is much, much better.
Okay, I just had to get closer. So yeah, let me just go over it again. Yeah, we're done burning for the spring, summer. We won't start up until fall, for obvious reasons. The Forest Service has a pretty sizable pine palm project. For those who live there, probably know about it. I think, I don't know. Anyways, it's like 1,300 acres or something like that. I'm not really, I'm gonna be out there when it starts. And then also, we have another project coming up sooner than not. It's gonna be with the Hoopa tribe, and it's 300 acres. And it's gonna be for the most part, along the 24 road. Going out to like Skunk Ranch and all that, for those who know it. For the most part, I think that's pretty much a big update for us, especially out in High and Palm. I mean, we got other projects, in the works, a lot of acres, but they're still in the works. So, in a report.
Okay, great, Keith. I think we'll just go ahead and do anybody else in the Forest Service, and then we'll do questions afterwards. Was that Glenn? Glenn or Daniel? Or Melissa?
I have nothing to report.
Yeah, I have nothing to report. I'll just add we've got a couple upcoming grants and agreements, trying to get back into Stafford area. I'm not sure that everyone here is familiar with that, but we did a lot of work up there at one point, and it's starting to come back in and getting a lot of growth up there. So hoping to get back in there. So we've got a grants and agreement out with the Watershed Center, kind of in the works for that. So yeah, we've got a lot of upcoming projects, as Keith mentioned. And end of report.
Thank you, Melissa. Daniel, anything else to add?
No, thanks for letting me speak, but I have nothing to add.
Okay, very good. Any questions or comments for Shasta T? Okay, hearing none. Thank you very much, all four of you, for your reports. Moving on to UC Cooperative Extension, Christian.
Yeah, hi everyone. No updates right now, but glad to hear everything that's going on and stay in the loop.
Great. How are you settling in?
Good. Good. I should send you an email on another topic, but pretty well, and pleasure to meet many of you a couple weeks ago. Thanks for having me out.
Excellent. Yeah, we appreciated having you come up. So thanks for the opportunity. We look forward to working with you more.
Likewise. Thanks, Kelly.
Any questions or comments for Christian, UCCE? Okay, hearing none, we're moving on to Sonungwe. Dina.
Hi, we've been busy here, and it's mostly due to the RCD. They came out into the Hawkins Bar, Salyer area, Burnt Ranch and Big Bar were available too. And they did chipping for the entire first week of, well, 4 days in the first week of May. And it was really good. Also, as was reported, we did the Scotch Broom Bowl here in Trinity Village. And I'm the Trinity County Fire Safe Council ambassador here on Coon Creek Road, and we only pulled like 4 or 5 plants, but down in the village, they pulled all morning and they only did 1 street. So there's a lot in the lower village. And so hopefully they're planning some more days. The big effort here was on South Fork Road. The Watershed and Research Center came out for 3 weeks in May also. And Sophia and the crew had a great attitude. They welcomed the property owners and their input and guidance. And they spent those 3 weeks on a half a mile from mile marker around 2 to 2.5. And there was a lot of storm damage that had just been there and was way beyond the capacity of the homeowners, who are all tribal. Most of them are elderly and low income. And so it hit all the marks of the kinds of people that need the assistance from these grants. And they cleared the roadside. There was 1 piece of property that was just literally all 4 out of 5 trees were down. And so we asked them to not chip, but to leave the wood in lengths, and then people in the community could come and use it as firewood. And it made their job easier, and it was great for the community. And they said the whole time they were there, people were getting firewood, and there's still some left. So it was really very successful. And Chester and Sophia and the crew are really easy to work with. And we're looking forward to them coming back again when the CWDG grant is put into effect. Because for as far as the immediate roadside, it's been cleared from 2.5 miles to the end of the road now by the Watershed Center. But the place that's most damaged is from the Highway 299 to 2.5 miles. And so that'll get cleaned up, and then we'll be able to broaden the safety zones around the houses as well. We were really pleased with the work that was done on our behalf and appreciate it. Thank you.
That's great. Any questions or comments for Dina?
Dina, if anyone was left out in chipping, as sometimes happens in the first week, because our best promotion is the chippers being out there. If there's still funding at the end, we want to go back out and do some more chipping. And if we don't go out this season, we'll be back out again around October.
There's chipping on Coon Creek Road in Trinity Village. I think one of the people put in either a late request or didn't request, but it's adjacent to our property and we have a request in, so that would be good. And we also had this huge tree removal project on our own property. We had 1 tree that was leaning toward the house and it was dead in the center. And so we took out some big firs, and so we have some real big fir branches to chip. And I will let people know, one of the things I would say for people who are, like you're looking at the lake, the thing that works best here is I message people, I email people, if I can't reach them, I give them a phone call, I try to make personal contact with everybody that is in need of assistance, and that's just the best way to communicate. So the people at the lake, I know they need the help, but there has to be person-to-person contact.
Thank you for helping spread the word and making that contact.
Thanks, Dina. Okay, we have Dave DeLang that joined us from the Trinity PUD. Dave, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and give us the PUD's report out?
Yeah, hey, thanks for the late join here. Yeah, this is a pretty big month for us. Like the RCD themselves, I think you guys, I think you guys are working backwards. So I don't know if you presented yet, but we were awarded the Community Wildfire Defense Grant by the Department of Agriculture, and for in the tune of $9.5 million over the next 5 years. This is going to be used for hazard tree abatement across the system on private property. This is just going to enhance what we've already been doing, being able to expand that to possible service drops and hopefully I'd like to, and then we're going to do shaded fuel breaks also along, forget how many, I don't have the acreage right here in front of me, but across our system also. I know that a lot of your fire breaks and grants don't allow for hazard tree abatement, so I'd like to partner with both the watershed and the RCD. Maybe we can help with some of those in your areas if there's power lines adjacent. Anyway, yeah, it's a real game changer. We haven't really entered into the grant forum. This is our first dip into it, and there's also a CAL FIRE grant that's awaiting awarding. I'm not sure when they're going to do that, but that's also for shaded fuel breaks along our right-of-ways on federal lands. So that's about it for now. That's the big news at TPUD. So if anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Just a comment, Dave, not bad for a first dip into the grant world, 9 million.
Yeah, we go big or go home, I guess. I'm not sure. It's
yeah.
No, we're really happy. This is big news for all of Trinity County here. I think that with these grants, that's the only way we're really going to get some real motion and getting these fuels out of the forest.
Congratulations, Dave. Do you have like a timeline for when the RAP project gets finished and when you guys actually will be able to start implementing?
RAP project, the last I've heard, boy, it just keeps getting pushed out. I'm not too involved with the day-to-day with Aspen, but I know they're meeting monthly. There's supposed to be the document, the EIS document, NEPA sequence should be, next month. I'm hearing late June now. So as for the project, as soon as we get our paperwork completed, the hazard tree abatement portion is going to go forward immediately. And I've got a backlog of probably 2 months of work already. And as for some of the other fuel works, I think we're going to start in the North County and kind of work back down this way. So first year, probably North County and some of the other more needed areas. There's a couple downriver that I want to start first also.
Okay, excellent.
So I heard at a meeting recently, Dave, that RAP draft is in a 30-day review with the federal agencies, but that they were going to ask for at least another 15 days because of the size of it. And I think after that is when it goes out as a public draft.
Correct. That's what the late June is the anticipation for public point.
And whenever you're ready to do the hazard trees on the power line through our property, just let us know.
You're on the list there.
They're still dead.
Yeah, we're getting there.
All right, thanks, Dave. Anything else for Dave? Awesome. Again, congratulations, Dave. That's great news.
Yeah, congratulations to yourself. That's great news for everybody.
Excellent. Okay, moving on. Trinity County RCD. Adriana, do you want to go ahead and start us off?
I actually didn't get the updates. I believe Skylar has the ones for Bethany.
Okay. Do you want to go ahead and
Okay.
give those?
Our Forest Health Program Manager Bethany couldn't be here, but she sent me a list of all the awesome stuff that they've been up to. Let's see. So the big one that Dave alluded to, we received notification that our Community Wildfire Defense Grant application had been funded. So this is for over $7.9 million to do fuels reduction work on private land in the downriver communities. So from Big Flat to Burnt Ranch. The stars aligned because the week before we had our Burnt Ranch community meeting, and then exactly a week after we were notified that we are going to be getting some funding for that area, which was a big talking point from the community members. Community tripping is going well. We will be in Douglas City, Lewiston, and Trinity Center Coffee Creek over the next 3 weeks. We are kicking off the PG&E funded project in Sawyer, which Sophia alluded to. I'm in partnership with the Willow Creek Fire Safe Council. And so this will be private land work along Campbell Ridge Road, Wood Lane, and Councilman Road, complementing other funding that we have currently for the area. 8 staff completed qualified cruiser training with the Forest Service this month. Fuels crews are working out in the Kinney Camp area and have work planned in Coffee Creek, Suzie Q, along Highway 3 and Rush Creek Road. That will be implemented, Suzie Q, Trinity Village, and Lewiston. And then they will also have work under contract in the Weaver Basin, including roadside units along Highway 3 and Rush Creek Road. That will be implemented by Silvertop. And then finally, contract was signed with Trinity River Lumber to begin logging a small BLM unit on Oregon Mountain. Operations may begin next week. Forest Health is busy.
Okay. Miles, do you have anything to report?
I did not, but thank you to the neighborhood ambassadors who helped out and all the people in the community that made those awesome events possible.
Cool. I would add to our general report. I was asked, as well as the Watershed Center, as partners to a Forest Service event that happened last Wednesday. It was a visit from kind of all over the place, but mostly out of Washington, D.C. The Wildfire Risk Reduction Infrastructure Team, the RIT team, came out to go through some of the projects that we've been identifying and working with the Forest Service with regard to the wildfire crisis strategy, which is the big chunks of money that they received the first tranche last year. They got another tranche this year. And the team this was the team that actually decides where that money goes. And so I think, we kind of went into that particular meeting really wanting to sell the partnership, sell the work, sell the need. And we had a really great conversation. It was a sea of green pants. It was a lot of folks from the forest. I got to have a ride along with one of the members. So I got to. The first stop was in Weaverville Community Forest. So I talked a little bit about, at that point, like I did a really brief history of the Trinity County Fire Safe Council and all the work that has transpired, the CWP, the creation of CWPP and its updates, and kind of how these partnerships were built amongst, between us and the Forest Service, but also with BLM and CAL FIRE and the VFDs. And Randy Paris was there representing the Watershed Research and Training Center. And between the two of us, we kind of tag teamed how our partnership grew and how we've been supporting the forest collectively. And I'd say that meeting went very, very well. I got to have some conversations with a couple of the mucky mucks that were actually kind of, sort of the signatories, I would say, of that funding stream. The first year, just so that you get a sense of it, there was $16 million basically awarded the first year, and there was about $32 million awarded the second year. A lot of that is going into blanket purchase agreements, BPAs, for contract work that's already begun, as I understand it, just to get that money allocated. And so we've got to really talk about how this money affects things. I would say that I'll comment that on the second, somebody else trying to get back in. So we had 3 stops: Weaverville Community Forest, the Big Ranch project, which is basically everything from Big Bar down to Big Ranch up through the Monument Complex footprint, about a 35,000 acre project. And then we stopped at the Pilot Project, which is a Trinity County Collaborative Group project. At the second stop in Big Ranch, we were joined by Heidi Carpenter Harris, the District 4 supervisor. And she is such an amazing orator. She gave an amazing, a wonderful anecdotal sort of little speech about how important this and how needed this money is, and how important these partnerships are, and how important the work is for all of our communities here throughout Trinity County. And I give my hats off to her. There were many comments. We kind of did a wrap up at the end of the day, and people kind of kept going back to that and saying how important that was to hear, and hearing about our story and the watershed story, and how all that's really come full circle and created the possibility of this work getting done here. And it was a really great tour. And what I took away from it is that we did it. We sold it, and I think that we'll likely be able to count on more that funding continuing into the near future. So I just wanted to report out that was a pretty it was a really amazing thing, an honor to have been able to attend, and to really show up for our local Forest Service staff, and this whole larger project, and how it's rolling out with the wildfire crisis strategy. So it was good. Cool. So I think that's it, unless I missed anybody for the RCD. Any questions or comments for the RCD? Hearing none, we will move right along. Do I see anybody from planning?
No.
I don't think so.
No, I think they're still there.
Yeah, really?
Are they really?
Carol's not here.
I think she joined on Zoom though.
Oh, did she?
No, just now.
Oh,
Yeah,
just,
she is on Zoom.
Okay. Okay. Nobody from OES. David Colbeck, Trinity County Natural Resource Division.
Yes, hello again. Thank you. One thing, Kelly, you didn't mention it. So there's a contract now that was just signed by the board between Natural Resource Division and the RCD. that will allow us to work on environmental compliance, CEQA and NEPA for a number of projects going over the next couple of years. A similar agreement was just signed by the WRTC Watershed Center. So that is the backbone of this division and how we're able to operate over the next couple of years. So thank you for that. Some of those projects, specifically with the Watershed Center, are the Rat Tail. It's a Trinity Forest Health and Fire Resilient Rural Communities project. It's a NEPA project that we're helping to assist them in drafting an EA. The Junction City Community Wildfire Risk Reduction Project in the Monument footprint is starting up as well. So again, another EA with the Forest Service. And then, like I said, other projects coming up with RCD. Something that just went to the board on this Tuesday, which just might be of interest to this group, is the Trinity Headwaters NEPA certification, which is 10,000 acres of land acquisition in partnership between a land trust and the Watershed Center that was approved by this board as a component of the funding that's required. And in the background, I have the Wildlife Conservation Board meeting going where they're looking to approve more funding. So in any case, it may be of interest just to this group in terms of working landscapes and forestry, resilient forestry in the future. I'm also emailing about the Forest Service GNA SPA amendment that is another additional 1.5 million. I've mentioned it to this group a couple times. That is in process at the moment. I'm looking for that to be finalized. And I did want to mention that Sophia Sadie, Willow Creek, I did not get back to you about specifics, but again, just for this group to know that I did amend the existing SPA to include contract work for roadside treatments, including chipping. And so I put funds right now. It's essentially a placeholder of $30,000 within this agreement. So there is some funding there. I just need a placeholder. For this group to know how the SPA works is that I will sit down with the Forest Service, with County DOT, and identify different projects that are of interest to both of us. And so by having the right language in the agreement, it opens the door for contracting with other fire departments or otherwise fire safe councils to assist us in getting those roads treated. Small item, but the Trinity County Airport, in working with the NRA, we finally got a letter of approval in order to be able to take out some trees up in that area for defensible space. So just a small example of trying to work out relationships with the Forest Service to proceed on these types of projects. And then the wave, I'm not sure if anyone mentioned it, but that was last Saturday. It's some small component of fuels reduction in terms of blackberry removal on City Gulch here in the middle of Weaverville. So that was a good success. And with that, I'm happy for any questions.
Great. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, sorry, I wanted you to have the opportunity to mention that. And by the way, I did go ahead and sign that agreement. So I have a copy here at my office. Do you need me to drop it off or?
All right, we can schedule that, and I appreciate that. I kind of like going after Watershed and RCD because these are your projects I'm just assisting with. So go ahead and take all the credit.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you. Any questions or comments for Dave?
Yeah, there's a question in the chat from Carol asking which trees around the airport. Oh.
I can work with Carol offline about that one in more detail. At the moment, it's the ones around the hangar at the south end of the airport. It's principally blackberry and some of the smaller riparian vegetation, I believe. But the Forest Service, I just missed a call. I think they've gone up to mark some of the larger trees that we're still trying to figure out what needs to come out. So I can give you more details at a different time.
Very good. And just to kind of expand upon, David mentioned the WAVE project. Our Watershed Stewards Program, AmeriCorps volunteer, well, not volunteer, but like our fellow, I guess you could say. I think they have a different name for it, but Christine Birchinall basically organized a volunteer event for some removal of some blackberry, like right in front of the Lee Ranch House. And so there was a whole slew, a contingent, a cohort of WSP members that came into town from all over the state for that. And as well as quite a number of people from the community, including myself. We got in and cut away a lot of blackberry and hauled off 3, dump trailer loads full of blackberry, as well as, and then we cut away some dead wood, some of the the black locust. So that all got shipped and spread in that same vicinity, and it was good. It was a great project.
Where did the blackberry go?
We worked with David. It was kind of a partnership with David in the Natural Resources Division, and it was hauled off to be burned later, I guess. David, was that correct?
Yeah, I'll just jump in here. Yeah, at the Loudon Park storage site, I guess you could say, where the county has a lot of debris that they have a annual burn permit. So we dropped it there in coordination with Buildings and Grounds.
On the other side of the community garden?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Go down to the Weaver Basin wetlands.
What's that?
No, not down there, Patrick. Sorry.
Well, it was a good event, and we appreciated everybody that showed up, and it was a noticeable chunk. So if you happen to be down in that area, take a look.
And a quick jump in here too, as well, to the Weaverville Fire Department. It was actually used as a pumping location to get access to the creek in the training yesterday. So an unexpected benefit, I believe, anyway, in terms of fire departments being able to train there. Can you speak to that at all in terms of local using that location?
Yeah, I was actually there on Saturday to help out. We used that spot to get to the creek to do some training with a obscure piece of firefighting apparatus that we haven't really used much because we don't have a lot of access to creeks like that. And yeah, it was great to be able to get there without tromping through the blackberries.
You had been using it previously when it was overgrown?
You couldn't get to the creek.
That's what
Yeah, you could not get there. And after Saturday, I was like, oh, we have access. Let's go use it.
Yeah. Fantastic. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and move on. Larry or Jerry, do you guys want to give a report out from the Trinity County Collaborative Group?
I could give a few things, and then maybe Larry can come in, and then yourself, Kelly. The collaborative is trying to move to in-person meetings, just knowing that so much good work happens at breaks and over lunch. And in that vein, where there's going to be lots of field trips to all of these projects that have been mentioned here, landscape projects, between now and probably September, I think. Hayfork Trinity Center, the Big Ranch Project, Mad River, Bowerman Barn. So lots of opportunities to connect out in the field. At the meeting, there was lots of landscape work and really nice talk with partners, but also wanting to reach out to David to bring him into the collaborative conversation based on the GNA. It's just another person to kind of integrate into that conversation. And it really felt like a greatly improved relationship between the two forests, the Shasta T and the Six Rivers, really working together, not paying so much attention to boundaries, but paying more attention to watersheds and how the forest covers both districts. I think that's all I had. Anyone else from the collaborative want to add on?
We've got a whole series of field trips planned. In early to mid-June, we're going up on Bowerman. Then in late June, we're going to the South Fork Mountain for their big project on South Fork. they're considering that part of Six Rivers Mad River District, but it's really a joint project between both Shasta Trinity and Six Rivers. Then in July, out to Big Ranch again. And in August, we're going to look at what's called the North County Risk Reduction Plan. And then in September, we're going out to Hayfork. And I have also been pushing Tara to focus on doing some projects around Junction City because that community's been hit so hard by fire in the last 10 years. So that's all I got.
Great. Thanks, Jerry. Thanks, Larry. I don't really have anything additional to add to that at this point. So is there any questions for Jerry or Larry in the collaborative? Okay, moving on. Thank you both. Let's see, I don't see any board of supervisors. I saw, Carol, that you dropped something in the chat there. Do you want to just go ahead and give us your little report for Trinity Center VFD? Okay, maybe Carol was unavailable. Are you able to just go ahead and read that?
Yeah. Oh,
Please.
she might not be able to. Yeah, I can't get audio to work. Just read chat. Yes. Okay. 3 different foresters have looked at the forest around Hobel Dump and concluded that it's not merchantable yet. So best to proceed with the RCD funded fuel reduction plan this summer and wait for the county at some future date to organize a timber harvest.
Great. Okay, thanks, Carol. Let's see. Let's see, SBI, Trinity. Larry, did you have anything additional for SAFE?
No, that's pretty much what I had to report for the collaborative, but putting my South Fork Mountain hat on for a second. Lots of the local folks that live up here, because we aren't really part of any community necessarily, but folks are feeling kind of left out with all the money that's flowing towards fuel reduction. And we're hoping that there will be some work done to help the more rural areas with that sort of thing.
Okay, well, I think just collectively need to put that on the list, and maybe we can figure out some way to partner up with the South Fork Mountain Project and sort of leverage funding that way. Okay, great. Thanks, Larry. Joson, Gary, do you guys have any report out from Post
I just
Mountain?
noticed there's nothing going on in Post Mountain ever. I mean, there's so much dead timbers up there from the Blue Fire in 2015. I mean, the first mile you come in is all burnt timber.
And it's about a 4-foot high bush that's just covering the hills now.
And the one other thing, people out there need to cut the brush back from their wooden fences. Everybody grows pot, they have a 6-foot wooden fence, but they don't cut the crap around it. It's ladder fuel and they're not getting the message. So, I don't know how to get it to them.
Well, I think maybe that's something that we can also look at as far as outreach. We've made some inroads with a local environmental compliance contractor, Flora, and they have really they have quite a number of clients down in that area. And one of the things that we've been talking with them about, since they do have that sort of connection to that community, is the potential of doing fuels reduction, getting some sort of fuels reduction project happening down in that area. So
that would be good.
Yeah.
And I would say that it's not nothing. So with Trinity County Fire Safe Council, that the Watershed Center and the RCD have offered community chipping in the past, and that I believe we'll have to verify with Randy if she still has the funding, but when we were doing community wildfire protection planning a year ago, she had funding to do more fuel work and individual property management work out there. So the Watershed Center may still have some funds to be able to do more work out in the Post Mountain area.
the people need to want it and request it. And the problem is they're not getting the message. It's like 85% Hmong. And they don't have a lot of trust, so it's unique, and we got 3,000 people there. We're like probably the second largest community in Trinity County.
Yeah.
So,
David, you have a comment?
Just want to add real quick, for those licensed cannabis operations, it is a requirement of their environmental review under the EIR to have wildfire protection and site maintenance. And so if they are licensed, then the cannabis division of the county should be able to assist with that.
problem is there's probably 20 of the 800 grows out there that are licensed. All the rest are just, wow.
What they do is
Correct.
they do work on the property, but outside of along their fence, they don't touch it. That's because you just go and it's just solid vegetation up against their nice cedar fences.
I did have a long conversation with Fish and Game the other day. I was sitting out in the yard and I waved, so they stopped and said, "Oh, a friendly wave in Trinity County and Trinity Pines." And so we stopped. We talked about 20 minutes. I gave them a layout, how the place was formed, like blah blah blah. And they're doing raids. They did a couple of raids the other day. They drove by and stopped and had a big truck load of weed. And they went, "We're raiding this year, and we're really worried about the sediment. Everybody's driveway is just dumping soil into the drains, and it's just a mess." And I understand, you might know something about this. There's some kind of a deal going on with one of the Indian tribes to get some funding, like $1 million, to help with the road problem in the Pines because it's dumping silt into the river.
My understanding is that Flora is working with, I think
that's what it was.
Euroc, if I'm not mistaken.
Sounds right.
To do like a roads assessment.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah, they were paying like $6,000 for an engineer to come out and tell them what they want. And I hope it goes. I mean, we really needed the roads out there, absolutely terrible for firefighting equipment, anybody. I mean.
Yeah, we
it's
tried to
bad.
get some projects going and actually had some funded projects, but the PUD just lost it.
Anyway, I'd just like to see something happen out there because, she's got 4.5 acres that we've been burning and cutting. And it's had fuel reduction done twice in the last 15 years or so, but there's still a lot to do.
Yeah.
So we're working on her little section. I have a water source too, so you know that she has 7,000 gallons of water ready for fire trucks.
All right, well, did I understand it's the 18th is the Post Mountain? Was that this month or was it next month? Okay.
Yeah,
So that's yet
it's
to
6
come.
o'clock.
Okay, well.
Light refreshments.
We'll definitely be taking, more of those comments and see what we can do to help. you out.
Anything that helps.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, try to be more focused on our concerns.
Yeah, Sophia, do you have a comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in on behalf of the Watershed Center. I also have a Watershed Center hat that I wear sometimes. And we did, I think the chipping day was actually today in Post Mountain. And I'm definitely interested in working on that outreach arm. And there's been discussions about, translating our chipper flyer into Hmong. So if someone could grab, some contact info from these guys who are chiming in from the Post Mountain community, I'd love to reach out and just see how we can kind of make those inroads a little stronger. Make sure those efforts are getting utilized.
Great.
There's one thing I requested before was I know there's some flyers out there about burning debris or burning all your stuff that are in Hmong. And I tried to download them off the internet and I couldn't do it. But there is some out there and I like to get some and post them around the community or even, what I used to do when I was on the department, I took the truck out, I went around and stopped talking to people. And that's the only way you're gonna get them is stop and talk and tell them, this would be a good idea. And I'm always trying to get them to put fittings on their water tanks for us. So, but we're coming along. I guess we'll get there eventually.
Yeah, we're just not part of the Post Mountain PUD. So we don't have like any real official capacity to go out and, we kind of just do it, just kind of like an individual, and we like to talk to our immediate neighbors, that type of thing, and hopefully they take it and talk to people.
Sounds like neighborhood ambassador type responsibilities.
Yeah, I'm the guy they come to when there's a fire, because they know I'm always monitoring, so they're like, where's the fire?
Okay. All right, well, very good. We'll see what we can do to bring some attention your guys' way.
Yeah, and is it okay that if we could contact Sophia?
Maybe we can share some.
Please do. Yeah, Sophia at the Watershed Center. I'll drop that in the chat.
I can also give her your email.
Yep, give it to her because mine doesn't work.
Perfect. All right. Thank you, Sophia. Thank you, Dosan. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate it. Let's see, moving on, NRCS, Tiffany.
Yeah, hi. So just continuing to work with landowners speckled all over the county. Been a little busy getting NEPA done for the projects that were selected this year, involving some fuels reduction and fire recovery cleanup, and some places downriver and in Palm area, and just a little bit north of that, and just continuing to help other landowners get other of those similar projects moving forward that were selected in previous years, inspecting them so they can get reimbursed, and then also making game plans for when the work season starts later in the year to get those going. And also happening internally for us with the Forest Service, both Shasta T and Six Rivers, we're going to have a little Joint Chiefs tour. And for those not familiar with Joint Chiefs, it's just another way to have targeted funding, and it could be county-wide or specific footprints in the county. And it's something that we work with the Forest Service and collaborate with ag producers, forest landowners, tribes, public land managers, and it just invests in conservation and restoration at a big scale to make a positive difference, as we're always trying to do, to make a continuous landscape effort. And so we were awarded another 3 years of funding starting 2023. So we got some projects going through that, luckily, and it's a continuation from funding we had also got through Joint Chiefs in 2016 and 2019, primarily trying to reduce and mitigate wildfire threats, and with secondary goals to also protect water quality and supply from communities and improve habitat conditions for at-risk species. And so in this case, the Forest Service had, I think, about like 23 signed NEPA ready projects, along with 6 that were expected decisions, and kind of just made a big footprint out of that. And then that pretty much made what our footprint is, and where we can then outreach to landowners within that footprint to make it a continuous effort. And so we were able to, focus a pot of money in that. And so we're going to tour the first week of June to some of these areas, which are, I think, around the watersheds along Highway 3, so more so north parts of the county, around the Hayfork area as well. So watersheds around Hayfork and west toward Time Palm. And last footprint is around Mad River and Ruth area. So greater Mad River watershed in the south part of the county and up to South Fork Mountain. So yeah, those are some things going on. And as always, we're always accepting any applications for any landowners interested in working with us and doing any fuels reduction work. So that's all I got.
Great. Thank you, Tiffany. Any questions or comments for Tiffany in the NRCS? Okay, not hearing any. We'll move on. Thank you again, Tiffany. Let's see. We have a written report out from the North Coast Unified Air Quality District.
Okay, Deborah Harris wasn't able to attend today, but she wanted to share that CAL FIRE Humboldt Del Norte unit now has 2 air curtain incinerators that are operating within the district. The original CAL FIRE ACI used in Mad River and Willow Creek is being moved to another area for operation, and a new unit is being used in Gasket. We currently have another application for an ACI in process. The district has approved for a new round of prescribed burn grant funding or money, and the district will continue to use these funds to pay for fees associated with smoke management plans and public outreach to promote prescribed fire. And finally, on May 6th, the EPA updated the air quality index for fine particulate pollution to lower particulate matter 2.5 standards. More information on the updated AQI charts will be provided, and you can find that information on the EPA's website when searching air quality index fact sheet.
Okay, great, thank you. Is anybody from Downriver also involved with the Lower Trinity Prescribed Burn Association? Okay, I'm hearing none.
Just
So-
in as far as their partners on that greater CWDG, but I know a lot of people in this meeting are also part of that, so that's the biggest capacity.
Okay. Any reports out from them, Ben? Hearing none. Going once, twice. Okay, let's see. I think that we are now getting to the point where we are ready for BLM. Mike.
Oh, Mike Allen, Reading BLM. So not too much to report. I was out of town on assignment the last couple of weeks. So I just been playing to catch up in the office here. But I will say that the Reading Indian Creek expansion that has been signed, and we're moving forward with Watershed and Trinity RCD. So our plan is to have a meeting with them, just line out the specs and the timeline, and move forward with that. So that will be almost off of our list. And then I was informed that I don't know if it was a Fire Safe Council or Trinity RCD. They requested additional 100 acres of the Weaverville Community Forest for thinning and all that stuff. So we're aware of that. We're looking into it. We also got a tidbit from the Forest Service in the Weaverville area there. So I believe they're looking at the Junction City Monument area, putting in some control lines along the ledge line, and I think it goes down to Trinity River, and then there's a very small piece of BLM that would connect it to the river. So they're asking us to help out and either do our side of the NEPA or whatever to get that down to the river. So we're looking at that, and then if we did do that, we would do like a DNA EA for the whole Trinity count, Junction City area to be able to do what we want to do there. So we're also looking at Helena as another area to start doing some work, or planning to do work or whatever. And also the Union Hill / Pond area is an area we're also looking into. So once we're done, hopefully soon here with the Reading Indian Creek, we're going to be diving into one of those areas and seeing what best fits the needs of all our cooperators. So if you guys have any questions, just let me know.
Great. Thank you, Mike.
Actually,
question comments?
Mike, it's Chris from Real Fire. We've noticed that there's a large number of piles up Oregon Street. And I'm not sure if that's BLM or RCD.
BLM.
It's BLM. And we're wondering, is there a plan for those piles to be burned? And do you know anything about it?
Yeah, I believe there is piles up Oregon Mountain Road. There's probably a mix of Forest Service and BLM. I believe the area that BLM has piles is the Glennison Gap area. So we're aware of those piles. They are on our list. I'm pretty sure that, it's not official yet, but our with fire season right here on our doorstep, that we're done burning piles for the season. But
Yeah.
we are aware of those piles. We've been working with Trinity RCD a lot this winter, burning piles. It was a wet one, but our main focus was working. What was that area?
Browns Mountain, Little Browns Creek.
Little Browns Creek was the main one, but it was just a really wet year, and it was a struggle to move forward. But we are aware of some piles up there, and we'll be working on those in the future.
Those piles that Chris is referring to are actually all on BLM land on Oregon Street, and just off of there, like Upper Democrat Gulch Road. That road accesses, and this reminds me of one other little go back. That road accesses the Oregon Mountain timber sale that we were doing for the Weaverville Community Forest with the BLM. And the piles, those were all done by BLM crews,
Okay.
all of them. Like we weren't involved in any of that. The intent is that they will go back like in the fall and burn those, but it's a lot.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot up there.
There was a lot of fuels that reduction that was done up in there. But regarding the actual Oregon Mountain timber sale, we've entered into an agreement with the Trinity River Lumber. They were doing stumpage on the sale just to make things simpler for contracting and everything. We're working with Boak Logging, who is somebody that Trinity River Lumber is working with in a number of places throughout the county at this point. I guess they're finishing up a project out outside of to the east of Wildwood, and then they're coming probably going to get started on operations next week. There will be an operational field tour for the Weaverville Community Forest Steering Committee. And I think we have that tentatively planned for the
June 20th.
The 20th?
I think so.
Was it?
Yeah, June 20th is correct.
Okay, perfect. So for everybody that's interested in that, there'll be more information coming out when those operations get started. They're expecting it's probably going to take 2-3 months for them to do. It's a sale of about 1 million board feet. Actually, just Paoli from BLM thought that was probably conservative, so there may be a little bit more than that coming off the ground. But we'll then have probably, by our calculations, close to $250,000 for doing additional service work. They're having to redo the roads in that area because those roads are probably 50 or 60 years old. And they're going to decommission the bottom of that. I don't think they're going to pull any of the actual roads. I think they're just going to pull culverts. And then we'll be going in after the fact and doing the actual service work, fuels reduction in those units after the fact. Okay, so I think with that, we're close to the end. Future discussion items, anything that anybody on the call or in the room wants to talk about next month? Yes,
I don't know if this is for this meeting or just a side meeting with Skylar. But I've been thinking about the fact that as we've done different 5-year updates of the Community Wildfire Protection Plan, always come up with a new list of maps of priority projects and that sort of thing. We've always had lots of projects in time periods with very little money. And now we've got lots of projects, but we've got lots of money. And is there a way that we need to kind of finesse the CWPP that looks out the next 5 years to envision the projects that are proposed and already funded,
Like in
but
the,
not implemented? Does
So-
that make sense?
so looking at the identified projects, seeing which have been implemented, which have been funded,
Yeah,
and kind of reprioritizing.
yeah, and which
based on that.
are still priorities, but are unfunded and unimplemented.
Right,
So anyway, just something to think about.
yeah, it's a good consideration. Been kind of locked into the community meetings currently scheduled.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea of having sort of like a stakeholder discussion about
With the
like,
agencies and, yeah.
kind of for those planning considerations too.
okay. Any other potential future discussion items? Okay, hearing none, there's only one other little comment that I think is of importance that Carol put into the chat, which says that the tub grinder has been mobilized to Hubble Dump and has been utilized to, I guess, it was being used for the purpose of getting rid of or chipping the
Brush that's
the brush that's
deposited.
already there, right?
Right.
Like that the community has brought in, that's all dried out. And,
Yeah.
yeah, so reducing that fuel load as well.
Would note that the first really big pile of stuff that has come out of the tub grinder was put right under a big tree.
That's what Carol just put in the chat also. Okay, very good. Well, I guess that's
It's better than it was.
right. Yeah. Okay, I think unless there's anything else for the good of the order, I think we're adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming up again.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate you being here.
Try.